Hey everyone, it's Taylor here today, and I am so excited to share with you a brand new collection of designer masking stencils at Tailored Expressions. So these stencils are a product that is being brought to you by a collaboration with the fabulously talented Laurie Willison. These were a concept of Laurie's. She actually called me up a few months ago and she said, I think I've got an idea, and what do you think about this? And I said, yes, we needed this like yesterday. And so we set out to create these stencils to make crafting easier and to solve a problem for everyone. So let me tell you a little bit more about them. Here I'm showing you that we have 4 shapes to start our collection. They come in circles, ovals, squares, and rectangles. I have the squares here that I'll take out of the package and show you exactly what you get with each set. So each set comes with 4 different pieces. You get 2 large 6x6 stencils, and then inside that area is cut out either the squares, ovals, rectangles, or circles in 2 different sizes. You can also see this is the problem-solving innovation that Laurie came up with. Around the outside, you'll see 2 etched lines. Now those lines represent an A2 card base and the layer just inside an A2 card base. And those are there so that you can exactly line up your card front, making sure that that open space is centered perfectly within your layer. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have been frustrated before when I try to mask off a perfect square or a rectangle. I do it with washi tape or purple tape. Sometimes I get a little lifting of my paper. All of those problems are solved. And now with the extra piece that falls out from the inside included, you can do some really cool reverse masking techniques that I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video. But first, I want to give you a few tips. This first thing that I'm going to show you is not required. It's just kind of a, if you want to do this, it was helpful for me, so I wanted to share it with everyone. I have a little bit of acrylic paint in my favorite teal color, and then I have my stencil pal. I'm just squirting that acrylic paint near those etched lines and then scraping the paint within the lines. So you can see that the paint goes down into the cracks of the lines and stays there so that it'll make those etched lines easier to see. I've taken a dry cloth and wiped the excess acrylic paint off. I found that a wet cloth did kind of rub the acrylic paint from within the lines, so that's why I used a dry paper towel to rub those lines off. Now you can see that I'm lining up my card front right inside those lines, making sure that that rectangle is going to be perfectly aligned. I used purple tape to adhere it to the back, but you could also use pixie spray. And now I'm using my teal blender brush with confetti cake ink to blend the background. I'm going to add a little bit of Cookie Monster in from each of the edges just for a little bit of dimension along the outside edge. So now when I take that up, you can see the perfectly centered space that's blended in the middle. And I'm going to take the solid rectangle that falls out from the middle, adhere pixie spray to the back of that, and then place that down over the place that we just blended. Now I have my wavy stripe stencil, which I'm going to place over the top of that, again using pixie spray to hold it down, and taking my confetti cake ink to blend the background across that. Now I'm going to leave that solid rectangle in the center. I'm not removing that portion, and I'm going to place another stencil over the top, doing a little bit of a layered stencil technique here. I have my guava ink with my red blender brush, and then I'm going in with candy corn and adding a little bit more color with that. Now when I peel that away and I take away that centerpiece, you can see we have a perfectly blended 1-layer card front. I was so happy to find that our framed scripts fit perfectly inside that smaller rectangle. So here I have my Stick-It that I am placing down onto a piece of sugar cube cardstock, just pressing that into place and then cutting the excess off. Now Stick-It is a wonderful tool if you have one of those intricate die cuts that you don't want to kind of messy your fingers by putting liquid glue on the back. So I've cut that out 3 times, and then I can pick the backing off with my pokey tool and then place it down onto the Hello die cut. I tried using my tweezer, but I'm just not a tweezer girl, so I went with my fingertips and it all ended up working out perfectly. So I have 3 layers adhered together, and then I'm going to place that down in the center of that blended space. Next, I'll be taking that stenciled card front and adhering it to the card base. I have a confetti cake card base that I'm scoring down the center, and then I'll adhere that with a Scotch dot adhesive roller. My final step is to add a few accents to the center of the flowers with a white paint pen. My tip here is to put a little bit of the paint pen out onto your placemat and actually pick the paint up from your placemat rather than try to add the dots directly to your card base from the pen. I hope you guys are seeing tons of possibilities for these designer masking stencils. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.